look at the target.
Oh, you don't?
No. You look at the sight. And you see the target in front of you.
Oh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. You figured that it went not too bad, eh, in that shooting?
For my first shooting, I got a perfect mark.
Holy cow.
All that far away.
Uh-huh.
But
hey.
And, I mean, out of 30 people, only 7 people got 60. So my first shot did center.
Oh, wow.
Shooting at Depot. Shooting at Depot. I was so relieved when I went to Depot and I shot my gun for the first time. After shooting it for the first time, I realized I wasn't gonna have a problem. If you guys are about to shoot in Depot, if you guys are about to shoot, not about to shoot qualifications, but if you guys are having a little bit of a tough time shooting, I just want to briefly go over something. I don't know if it's going to help you, but I remember when I went to Depot, they did this. They taught us what sights were. I'm going to be real quick. This is the front of your gun, okay? This is the rear of your gun. These are the rear sights. These are the front sights. You have to line these sights up in order to have an accurate shot. How do you line the sights up? You take the rear sight, which you look through first, and you line it up with the front sight. What makes it lined up? This is a perfectly lined up sight. If you go like that, you're going to shoot high. If you go like that, you're going to shoot low. You want it perfectly, you want that square perfectly within that square. If it's not even a square. You know what I'm getting at. By the way, I'm selling these. You check out my merch website. And it's not even funny. Something as basic as that. It's possible that somebody's at Depot right now and didn't even know that. Or forgot about it. Aiming is everything. You have to aim. Trigger pull and aiming. I felt like people at Depot, some of the cadets at Depot, didn't focus on aiming enough. It's the most important thing. And I was really confused in Depot. When I went to Depot and they told me that I focus to shoot. This is how they taught us to shoot. This is actually how they teach people to shoot. And I'm not saying it's wrong. It's obviously the right way. You focus on the sights. Your sights are clear in your vision. And you make the target blurry. So when I'm looking down my gun, I see the target, but it's blurry. You blur out the target because your sights, your vision is focused on your sights. And it was confusing to me. It was confusing to me, and you heard my dad there. He taped everything. He taped my entire time at Depot. He actually taped my entire time when I was going through the application process. I'm going to be playing all this stuff for you guys and going through it all. But during the tapes, like a couple months down the road in Depot, my dad, he said something interesting to me, and I'll never forget it. He's like, Clint, I just don't understand this whole making the target blurry. And it really didn't make sense to me either. Because the first stage of qualifications for me, that was the toughest stage. It was, you were the farthest away from the target. I can't remember how long it was, 50 feet, 25 meters. I can't remember, but it was a good distance. It was so far that when I would blur out the target, I couldn't see the middle. The middle was about that big. I couldn't see the middle. So I was guessing to hit the middle. And my dad said, well, what if you're aiming for a piece of chalk? Like you make the chalk blurry, you're not going to see the chalk. And that's what was kind of happening. That's, I felt that I was guessing where the middle was because I couldn't see the middle. Couldn't see it. But I could see the middle if I focused on the target instead of my sights. And this might be a little controversial. I can't even talk. I can't even say those words. Big word, eh? I don't know if I should be doing a tip on this because I don't want to change the way you guys are firing. But if you're having a difficult time, why not try this next time you're at practice? Because this is what I started doing at Depot. Why do I feel bad talking about this? It's just not. So many people argue that it's not the correct way. But I ended up being a really good shot. I ended up getting 250 out of 250 there. And all through my career, I didn't focus on the sights. I would line up the sights. I would look at the target, line up the sights, look at the target. I would do that continuously before my shots. Before each shot. Line up my sights, look at the target, sights, target, sights, target. I had to look at the target. I had to know where the middle of the target was. If I don't know where the middle of the target is, how am I going to hit the middle? So that's how I shot all through my career. And I was a damn good shot. I was good at some things, and that was one of the things. I felt in Depot there wasn't enough focus on the center. There wasn't enough focus on hitting the middle. They were just happy that you kind of got within this space. But I wanted the middle. If you go for the middle, then your shots are going to be around the middle. If you just go for a big piece like this, then you're going to have some problems. I think most people do well in shooting, but there's two things that you get kicked out of in Depot when I was there. Shooting and driving. So I'm just saying, if you're having a difficult time shooting, start aiming for the middle. You know what I mean? Concentrate more on the middle. Even if you want to keep the target blurry, you need to concentrate. When you're pulling that with the slow trigger finger, just like that, when you're concentrating, I think the last thing in your mind should be, I'm confident that it's going to go in the center. There's the center. A lot of people don't even know what dead center shot is. This is not dead center shot. That's not it. This is dead center shot. You got to know what dead center shot is. You got to know what aiming is. If you don't know what dead center shot is, then how can you ever hit the middle? It'll just be a guess every single time. I hope I'm making sense. Target, sights, target, endlessly. That is the key to consistent shooting. That is the key to quick, accurate, and consistent shooting. But whatever you do, don't take my advice on qualification day, okay? Don't change anything. Don't change anything on qualification day. I made that mistake. I got a watch, and I'm going to time myself during qualification. The first stage was 2 minutes long. And I want every second of that 2 minutes, because my trigger pull was so slow, I wanted to take up that entire 2 minutes. And for the first time ever, I changed things up. I got a watch, and I'm going to time myself. I hit the stop clock on it. Whatever you call that thing, the stopwatch. It's on my wrist. And we start shooting, okay? We start shooting, and about 3/4 into our course of fire of stage 1, I look down, and the watch says 2 minutes. 120 seconds. It says 120. And I damn near shit myself. I've ran out of time. And I still got 5 more shots to go. I take those 5 shots as quick as I can. I'm in the prone position, and everybody else around me is still firing. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's over. How could it not be over? It wasn't over. I still had 40 seconds. I wasn't looking at 2 minutes. I was looking at 1 minute, 20 seconds. Idiot. I thought the 60 was going to turn into a 70. Not a 1. So don't do anything different. But if you're struggling, why not focus on the target? It made sense what my dad said, so I did it. I didn't tell anybody that I was doing that. And it worked really good for me. I ended up getting 240 out of 250. 4 days before that, I got 250 out of 250. And I really wanted that 250. And it feels good when you get a perfect score in Depot. I don't know what your scores are. I don't even know if they score it anymore. Maybe things are different. But back then they scored it. And I remember Barb, my firearms instructor, when I got 250, shook my hand. And that was like a big deal. Shook my hand. And after qualifications, Barb read out everybody's scores. And when she came to me, she said, Clint, you got 240. I'm like, I already knew. And she's like, oh, well, how long ago did you get 250 out of 250? And I'm like, just the other day. And I never did tell her. I never did tell her what I had done. That I got a watch. Started counting the seconds. That's my tip. And I hope I didn't rip you off with a tip. I'll just throw in some random tip right now. When you go to Depot, bring a Visa or a MasterCard, that's gold. That covers your car insurance. Because you're going to want to rent a car at Depot if you don't have one. And it's really cheap. When I went to Depot, we could rent a car from Friday to Monday or Tuesday. And it was $17 for the whole weekend. And I know cadets get a deal somewhere. That was Enterprise. Maybe they're still giving you a deal, if they still exist. But I know you can get a deal there, but they get you on the insurance. But if you have a gold card, your car insurance is covered for a small car. I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to keep on doing these. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.
When is your firearms coming up?
Next week.
And that's the biggie.
We just came back from firearms, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How are you motoring right through it?
I shot the best I've ever shot.
Well, great, Clint. Well, isn't that ever good news?
Yeah, they 5 to 5 stages, and they score it all up.
Okay. If Monday meaning the exam. I see. Yeah. That's good. Good score. Pardon?
Got a perfect score.
Holy shit.
Yeah, never missed one.
Oh, wow.
250.
Holy crap. That's cross pistols out of uniform a whole bit.
No, it's not. That's crown.
That's the better yet.
Yeah.
Wow. That's exciting.
It's good when I'm undoing the nerves. Your hands are all
But I've seen you before, how you've made your blood pressure just drop.
A little different.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe it's not so much different either. Maybe it's all nerves and you just cool. I don't know how the hell you did it. But it worked. Maybe it'll work again.
So the firearms instructor shook my hand today, too.
No!
Yeah, that's what you get for 250, I guess.
No kidding, eh? See, that's pretty damn good, Clint. I mean, you got to feel good about yourself.
Yeah, that's a good mark.
You're damn right it is. And, the tough things were the driving and the firearms, eh?
What's that?